Thanks for joining me on this video. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also be sure to follow me on these other social media platforms. Links are in the description below. All right, now maybe this is one of those subjective or opinionated topics here. And, I'm looking at some notes in front of me when I'm doing this video, but I'm going to be completely honest. I don't even know if I can actually give an answer to the question that's going to be in the title. I think I might name this video just something kind of simplistic, like who is the best character on the show, or who is the best character. I mean, that depends on your opinion. I know there are people who are in Team Veronica, Team Ice Queen, and Team Candace, and when I really think of the haves and the have-nots, I think those two characters are the ones that get named the most. And yes, I will be doing a flip, I guess you could say, a video on the flip side of the worst characters on the haves and the have-nots. And believe it or not, there are some viewers who would feel that Veronica and or Candace would fit into that category as well. But let me just, maybe these videos, I'll just kind of define what I think of when I think of the best character, not necessarily who that is, but what goes into that, what goes into the decision of saying who is the best character, identifying who that is and why. Now, let me just put it this way. A lot of the people who you would think would be the best characters are maybe not as great as they once were, or great as you think they are, because there are some characters, for example, who I thought would easily be number one. Like, way back when I did like a video and a blog a couple years ago talking about, who is my favorite character, it used to be David Harrington, but then you have the whole Erica thing, and gosh, I don't even know how to put this into words. And again, not attacking Tyler Perry or anything like that. It's just like, considering that there is like a lack of consistency in the character. For example, just perfect example, big movie this year, Avengers: Infinity War. You look at that movie, a lot of complaints based off the fact that some of the characters weren't acting like themselves. I mean, given the fact you have an all-star cast, a bunch of characters, some people had time to, everybody had their moment, while others had more shine than others. And if you look at like their individual movies, or maybe smaller films like the actual Avengers, I mean, that had 6 main Avengers, but at the same time, everybody had a chance to shine. And then, at the same time, it's like, well, Tony Stark's more cocky than usual, attacking without a plan. That's not him. Star-Lord attacking Thanos out of character, even though he shot his own father multiple times after finding out, he killed his mom, and the list goes on. But it's just that there are characters who are very likable for a long stretch to show, but then Tyler Perry just kind of switches up their personality quirks, and they're making mistakes and making choices that aren't within their character. And I've said this time and time again, you can really tell when a character is about to be axed off once they do something stupid that good and well that, okay, the season 2 version of this character would never make the decision they're making in season 4 right now. What the heck is going on? That's pretty much, I mean, Maggie Day, Warlock, Oscar, they all fit that category if you ask me. I mean, there might be others, but those are the 3 that just pop into sorry, I don't know where that came from. My mind faster than anyone else on the show. And, there are some great care. And, yeah, it's like 4 o'clock. So if you hear background noises, remember school buses are dropping off kids and stuff. But I feel like the best characters are those who get an arc. They have character development. They might kind of slide to the background for a season because they're not the main focus, but they're still consistent. Catherine Cryer, another great example of a character who I wish I could say is the best character, but the fact that, Catherine Cryer had a great story arc, with the whole battling cancer, keeping it from her family. Season 2, she kind of played a background role, kind of letting things play out, but also very concerned about what's going to happen to her son Wyatt, then helping out Hannah. And even though it wasn't like the main story, their friendship was severed from season 1, brought back together. then made even stronger when, you know, Hannah was there for Amanda's death, you know, to comfort the criers. You know, then they go to jail, then they get out. But the real thing was the fact that she killed Jennifer Salison in cold blood, yet that swept up under the rug. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, I did the video where she might be going to jail, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in season 7. But at the same time, it's just like, that was just such a badass moment where she literally turned the movie into like a horror movie, chasing Veronica around the house and everything. But then a couple episodes later, it's like nothing ever happened. She's back to her perky self, friends with Hannah, hooking her up with Derek, but that's it. Like, there's no development, no growth from that, and that's why she wasn't my top. And believe it or not, you know, before people were getting killed left and right, you know, Oscar was my favorite character. Even Melissa, to an extent, you know, after the car wreck, that's when she really turned into a different character altogether. But then, like, Oscar being drugged and, you know, deciding to go to Candace's room, just stupid mistakes that Oscar would never have made in his earlier appearances. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. But when it comes down to it, I'm not really going to say who I think the best character is, because I really don't think there is anyone to fully qualify that role. I will admit, if I were to give a top runner, like, you know, get that position to someone, I would say Mitch Malone is probably the best character. But the one thing that really makes me hesitate is that moment where he fully doubted Benny. He didn't even give Benny the benefit of the doubt. Like, I can understand if you see a family member in a near-death state and your friend went down there to see him, I understand why you would suspect him of it, but to fully accuse him without giving him the chance to even explain himself, that was unforgivable. Then he joked around how I saved your butt again, you know, when he stopped the Malones from shooting at him. While true, I mean, it really sucks because, you know, Mitch went out on a limb. You know, he went above and beyond to help Benny, going to Sandy Malone, asking about the interest thing. And I mean, that was something he didn't even have to do, because Mitch was telling him all throughout the beginning of the season not to deal with his family. But at the same time, it's just like, to actually accuse your friend of doing such an act, that's kind of unforgivable to me. Once again, if he at least gave Benny the benefit of the doubt, that's one thing. But just to flat out concoct the theory in your mind, I mean, I can't judge him, because guess what? This channel is all about theories, right? But to actually accuse him of, like, you know, oh, okay, so you want to return the money, but he wouldn't take it, so you decided to kill him, and, you know, you think that was it. And then it's like, well, what? You went down there, why didn't you call 911? And it's like, well, an asshole had a gun pointed at my head. I couldn't do anything. So, hey, I couldn't even call you. I wanted to call you. So that's why Mitch really isn't my number one. Will he be redeemed? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, I am glad to see that he's doing what he can to stop the Malones from killing Benny, so that's one good thing. But it's just like that one out of character moment for Mitch. Tyler Perry always does that. These characters who I love, like Maggie Day, Oscar, great characters, and they aren't even like the main cast. They're like the B tier characters, but he makes them do stupid stuff, like David taking in Erica, don't even know anything about her. Candace going on and on about this is my money. Veronica being crazy for the sake of being crazy, but there's no development there. Jeffrey being this whiny kid, and yeah, he is getting better with his character, but there's just way too much. The Justin thing is really smudging things up for me with that. Jim Cryer is just like the Harvey Weinstein of the haves and the have-nots, and even when I think he's having a great episode, there's always that mandatory scene where he's forcing himself on a young girl. There's that. Wyatt is just a one-note character. Benny is just a moron. If they added more depth with the whole, okay, side effects after the coma, I would be more sympathetic, but I'm not. Who is it? I think I talked about all the main cast except for Hannah. Hannah is a mixed bag with me. Would I call her the best character? Nah. But I am glad. It's like, I hope she gets a look. I know she's not being written off the show anytime soon, but at the end of the day, I do hope that she does find happiness regardless, because she definitely deserves it. Not my favorite though. Derek is definitely surrounded by mystery. I don't think Derek has done anything that make me go, ah, man, I don't like this guy. It's just like, you know, how long are they going to keep us out on the limb about his true past? That's really the only thing there. But I can't say he's my favorite, but he's definitely one of the more interesting characters. So with that being said, I don't want to ramble on too much longer, but based off what I said, like character development, character arcs, personality quirks, intelligence, strategy, resources, who do you feel is the best character and why? Now, let me just say this. I cannot tell you how to answer in the comments. That is completely fine. But if you say I'm Team Veronica, can you let me know why? Let's have some healthy discussion here. Can you let me know why? Let me know. You don't have to write like 3 paragraphs, but if you want to be as detailed as possible, that'll be great. Just to kind of spice things up and give people an engagement in the comment section. Like, let me know. It could be a character who's still on the show. It could be a character who's been written off the show, killed off the show, whatever the case may be. And in some cases, you might find that, hey, I loved Catherine from like season 1 to season 3, but then after that, she wasn't as good anymore, but she's still my favorite character. So basically, you can use a persona from a season if you want to. Like, I love Oscar in season 3 when he first showed up, but then after that, it was kind of like, why is he still here? Or Melissa, I loved her after the car wreck, but then she got killed off. Warlock, anybody. It can be anybody you want to, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and again, tell me why, or excuse me, tell me who is the best character and why do you feel that way.